Hey everyone, Pari Patri here. Welcome to this masterclass. I'm so excited that you could make it today. I'm super stoked to be here with you. You're about to discover the most powerful and profound process of your entire life. I'm dead serious, guys. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on courses. You're most likely not even going to finish, go to workshops, events, or buy books that end up on your bookshelf or on your Kindle untouched. And after all that, being right back where you started, right? And I know exactly how that feels because I've been there and I've done that, guys. In the next 45 to 16 minutes, I will reveal to you exactly how you can take control over your life and reduce stress, tap into who you really are, and make your life truly happy from the inside out. And I know this sounds too good to be true, right? But I'm going to give you many specific examples of different women here today and how they completely transform their lives. And by the end of the masterclass, I'm going to give you the chance to schedule a call with me completely free of course, where we can see how I can personally help you take your power back. Sounds good? So, this masterclass is for you if you feel stuck in any area of your life, whether that's in your relationship, your career, or you simply feel a general lack of purpose and meaning. We are not talking about a shift that is temporary, but this is about a shift in your vibration that will completely change your reality. More importantly, it's a process. Okay, it's a process that you can use to manifest anything you desire consistently. I'm so excited to introduce to you my unique concept, the High Flying Women's Guide to Success Without Stress. So, ready? Let's get started. Let's start with who is this for? Who is this masterclass for? You're already very successful in your professional life, whether that's in corporate or as an entrepreneur, an executive, or in a leadership role of any kind. But you're beginning to realize that success on paper is not all that it is cracked up to be, right? You've achieved some of your goals. You're kicking your professional life. But you're not as happy as you thought you would be, are you? It feels like rest of your life is just getting the dregs of your energy. You're stressed, you come home stressed, your relationships are suffering, you feel disconnected with your heart, you're just chasing your goals, you're chasing the milestones that you have given yourself, and you have a sense of emptiness that you try to fill with being busy. Does this resonate with you? I know what it's like. I've been exactly where you are as a successful woman in the corporate world who was left burned out, unfulfilled, and even resentful. I'll talk about my story just in a bit, but first, I know you're a busy woman, so let's get clear on exactly what I'm going to show you in this masterclass, so you can be sure it's right for you. So here's a short overview of what we'll cover today. As much as we might not like to admit it, even the most successful of us still have limiting beliefs, holding us back from a true impact and power we have to give the world. It leaves us often struggling to believe, hear this, we can have it all, the balance, the stress-free life we desire, and career success. I'll help you today to understand what your limiting beliefs might be and how we can replace them with the beliefs that truly serve you and your goals. So here, the key is in reprogramming your subconscious mind. I know that might sound a bit intimidating right now, but it's simpler than you might think. Finally, I'm going to show you powerful spiritual tools to raise your vibration from that of a disconnected, numb, stressed energy to one of pure freedom, power, alignment, and joy. You learn how to use your power of your intention to get into the right headspace and emotional space to make the changes you need to be successful in every part of your life, not just your work life. So Before we begin, let me first quickly introduce myself. My name is Pari Patri, and I'm an executive empowerment coach. That means that I work alongside women just like you, corporate business women, executives, creative entrepreneurs, and women in leadership positions, or women who's aspiring to be in leadership positions, right? My superpower is to help smart, successful, driven women who make over 100K per year, that but find that missing piece that's holding them back from a life that really, really feels good, that really feels authentic. So far, I've helped high potential women get from "is this it" to "this is it." I have worked with many, many successful women. Some of them are intensely stressed, overstretched, on the edge of burnout. Others just have an inkling something, isn't quite right. Some want to stay in their careers better equipped and armed with spiritual techniques. Others want to completely change direction and start a new life. But whatever it is, whatever that is you're seeking, I'll tell all my clients, your heart matters. Your heart matters. Your soul matters. Your happiness matters. And let me, going back to my background, I have a background being in the corporate world for over 12 years. I worked in various high profile, high pressure projects, managing and leading teams across regions. I often worked over the weekends and holidays, like most of you probably, right? More about, I'll talk more about that in a bit. But I'm also a mom of two gorgeous, beautiful children, and I have been teaching meditation and spiritual science for over 25 years. And I'll touch about this in my story as well. I'm excited to announce that I was recognized as the top 20, in fact, that should be 20 global women of excellence in 2019, which I'm super, super excited about. And also, I'm the president of nonprofit organization Pyramid Spiritual Societies Movement USA, which is founded by my father, Mr. Subhash Patri. I'm an energy healer certified. I'm an energy worker certified in various different modalities. That includes crystal healing, one light healing touch, radionics, and more, which I use in my work with my clients. I was born into a highly spiritual family where my father quit his job, and he was awakened, and he decided to teach meditation to the whole planet. Isn't that cool? And he founded this organization, Pyramid Spiritual Society of India. And I was, in fact, the first word I've ever learned was meditation from the age of 2, and I've been teaching meditation since then. So my father, what he would do is he would put all these quotes like, you create your own reality, or be a master unto yourself, be a light unto yourself. So all these quotes all over the house. So what this did was, I was being programmed from early on, that in believing that I was the master of my own life. I create my own reality. So growing up, I was so deeply connected to my own spirituality and inner peace that you would think that that background would stay with me as I grew, stay with me forever, right? But you would be surprised how outside influences can shift the way we live our life profoundly. And maybe you can relate to this. I came to US to study my higher studies in at the age of 22. When I arrived, I was away from all my family and friends. I had my extended family here, but they were all new. It was all new to me. The thing I craved the most was to fit in. I so desperately wanted to fit in. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to feel a sense of belonging. I found that anytime I brought up the word meditation, or even the word energy, that positive or negative, whatever, even the word, I would be laughed at. Even the man that I married, right now would jokingly call me a crazy lady when I brought this up. So, so now he gets it, but back then he didn't. He wasn't exposed to the concept like I had, and he didn't really understand. So all I wanted was to be loved and accepted. So what I did was I started to suppress my beliefs and not talk about them because I wanted to fit in. So I started speaking the language that everybody accepted, everybody thought was cool, and suppress anything that did not fit in that environment. And this happened so gradually. So I didn't want to seem like this crazy foreigner, right? So I pushed everything deep down inside me and locked it away. I started to feel like everything I had grown up believing might have been just wrong. Maybe it was all wrong. Maybe my parents didn't know anything. So I felt, and I changed myself, and in this process I started feeling happy. I was thriving because now I could fit in. I could talk the same language. I was feeling the same feelings like everybody around me. And my life started to look really, really good on paper now. I got married to the man I loved. I graduated university and got a high paying job in the corporate world. I was feeling extremely good. I had a great circle of friends and a nice home. So everything that, people around me considered successful, and I was there. I convinced myself I was happy but deep down inside there was a void. I didn't know how to fill. I would walk into the parties. I would feel the sense of void. I see people around me. I see food. I see fancy stuff, but yet I'm not happy. I'm not content. I'm not fulfilled. And no amount of money, friends, food, or anything would fill it. The good on paper like I had was not good in reality. I was incredibly stressed. Oh my gosh. In my high pressure job that like I felt I was surrounded by toxic people who made me feel like shit, literally. I was disconnected from my true essence. I was I worked late hours to prove my worthiness. At every step I had to prove my worthiness. And eventually I was so disconnected that I started getting physical blocks, right? I was getting migraines. Oh my gosh, terrible migraines, neck and shoulder pains. But of course, I just kept going. I ignored everything and all the warning signs and telling myself I should be grateful. And I was popping pills, Tylenol like crazy. And and finally, I had an experience which woke me up to the reality and really showed me where I was. My husband and I decided we wanted to try for kids, but it had been months or maybe years with no success. And we decided to go see a specialist who ran tests and told us that we had really only a small chance of ever having kids naturally. So you can imagine I hit my rock bottom at this point. I realized that the beliefs I had that money was everything, or I had to have this status, this position in my life, this title in my life, this pay in my life, this house in my life, or the husband, and I needed to tolerate an environment of stress and toxicity in order to be successful, were false. They were my limiting beliefs that were physically, in fact, they were manifested as physical blocks and prevented me to have kids. And I realized I needed to go back to my roots. I decided to be a mother. I did not let these limiting beliefs block the reality that I wanted in my life, the life that I wanted in my life. So I went back to the beliefs my parents had instilled in me from a young age, that I was the master of my own destiny and the creator of my own reality. Despite our extremely low chance of having children, Me and my husband managed to get pregnant after only the first round of IVF, which shocked my doctors, my family, everybody who knew about this at that time. After I saw how I could change and my own life with regards to my own fertility, I decided to quit my job and dedicate my whole life to helping other women do the same, because this is possible, guys. This is possible. But let's rewind a little here. How do you think I felt when I went to a fertility specialist where I was told that I had only a 10% chance of ever having kids? What do you think would have happened when I was struggling so much with finding happiness? Even though I seem to have it all, right? From a career perspective, taking vacations with friends, with husband, filling up my schedule on the weekends, eating fancy food, even though I had it all, but yet I had the deep, deep void in my heart. Well, I hit my rock bottom, right? But then I sat back and I thought about it. I dug deep into my core to see what beliefs could have created the situation, because I knew whatever I believed created my reality. And I'll talk about this in a bit in here, about how we actually create our reality. How does that even happen? And I knew I did this. I created this. I created this with my own belief systems. So I started working backwards. How did I create the situation with my beliefs? And then how was I going to change it, right? And build a life I truly, truly loved, become a mother, and have that happiness in my life. How did my beliefs need to change to get me there? And I started thinking about that. So let me ask you a question. What do you believe about life, relationships, or career? When I ask you that question, what comes to your mind first? Your subconscious beliefs just lie dormant right underneath your conscious attention. And they are your first answer, the first thing that pops up in your mind. When I asked myself this question, I realized my beliefs were, I have to do things I don't like to make money. I have to tolerate this harsh environment I was in order to succeed, in order to feel worthy. It's okay to be unhappy as long as you're successful. I have to put on a mask to go to work and do well. And it's okay if I did that, because everybody does that. And when I realized all this, I was shocked. But at the same time, it made perfect sense. No wonder I was unhappy. No wonder I was struggling in my job and my life. And it was all because I was disconnected from who I really was, because I believed that that life has to be this way. So no wonder I was experiencing that in my life, because I believed that I had to suffer to be successful. The key here is that despite the overwhelming odds, I was determined. I decided and I was committed to taking my power back. I decided I was going to be a mother. I decided that nothing can stop me. No doctor, nobody can tell me that this can't happen. No matter where you have been, how spiritual you are, how many courses you have taken, how much money you make, or what your job position, your title is, what your story is or worse, you need to believe in your own power in the present moment. Don't allow yourself to be influenced by other people's limiting beliefs about you or about the world, other people's stories. Don't allow them to be, to influence you, because then you are disconnected from your true self, from your own core, and you give your power away to those stories, to those belief systems. When I claimed my power back, everything changed for me. Everything changed. I became a mother of two beautiful children, and getting success in the first round of the treatment after I saw how I could change my own life. I decided to quit my soul-sucking 9-to-5 corporate job and dedicate my life to helping other women like me find their own happiness, find their own power, whether that's leaving corporate America or finding new skills and ways to be, or while keeping their own current job. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is. If you're sick and tired of feeling stuck and powerless, if you're not happy for whatever reason, if you feel like you haven't reached your full potential and could be so much freaking more than a huge paycheck, then this training is for you. Whatever struggles or problems you're facing, I'll show you how to overcome today. It's time to take your power back. It's freaking time right now. Before we dive deep into how to do that, let's look at a quick case study, okay? This is Mariella. Oh my gosh, she's my dear, dear friend. And when she came to me, she was living the American dream, complete with high-paying job, a great husband, and a beautiful daughter. But deep inside her, she always had this passion to live in a foreign country. Many of her friends were from different countries, and she always wondered why she didn't have the same opportunity as them. Why is it not happening for her? But one of the limiting beliefs she was holding on to was that she was getting older and it was too late for a change. And of course, she was worried about how it would impact her family, moving the whole family, the finances. How would she manage that? And once we started working and we uncovered this limiting belief system, we worked on installing a new belief about overcoming her fear and resistance. It's all about reprogramming. This is when things started to change for her. Once she believed that she was indeed worthy of living in a new country and having this financial freedom for her, she decided to take a leap in the unknown. She was ready to quit. And she was ready to quit and move to a foreign country and try finding a job there on her own. But I guess the universe had different plans. She didn't have to. She got a call for an interview for a job in Germany, and she went for it. She conquered her fear and she went for it, and now she's living the life of her dreams in Germany. She moved her whole family there. She's well settled. Her daughter is really, really happy, and this is the picture she just sent sipping her beer in a small town near Munich. And would you like to be like Mariella and see the possibility that you can create the life of your dreams? The first step is to look at your belief system. That is the first step. So let's start by talking about what beliefs are, right? Beliefs are these mental notions and assumptions we have created about ourselves and the world around us. We hold on to these beliefs as absolute freaking truths, right? Beliefs are emotional, psychological, and generally quite irrational. They're formed through experiences, and they start early on. They start as soon as we are at the age of 2. We start downloading stuff, downloading programs from our parents, from our teachers, from our environment, from the TV, the media that we watch, from the songs that we listen, from our friends around. We download them at the very young age, and they become our core operating systems. That's how they become. And everything now what we learn starts adding on to that. Most of our beliefs were formed during childhood, right? So like when we were scolded for doing something wrong or not doing something the way our parents expected us to do. For instance, a common belief is, I'm not good enough. This is the most common, oh my gosh. And which I'm still working on programming every single day, reprogramming this every single day, which then tends to bleed into other beliefs that affect us during adulthood, right? Like, I'm not capable enough. I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good leader. I'm not a good public speaker. I'm not a good, a presenter. I'm not special enough to be rich. I'm not deserving of XYZ. Beliefs based on past relationships are also very common. The events associated with them are often emotionally heightened and leave lasting impressions on a subconscious mind. If we get hurt early on in our romantic life, we might end up concluding that we do not deserve a loving relationship, or we end up believing that love is a cause for all suffering, right? Same as money is a cause for all suffering. We make up these belief systems, and we base our whole lives on these. I would like you to now take a piece of paper and write down some of your beliefs, okay, you have about yourself and the world around you. Beliefs that you come to accept as reality. I'm going to give you a few seconds here to grab a piece of paper and write them down while I sip my carnelian water. Carnelian is a crystal, which I'll talk about the crystals in a bit. Write down especially the ones you know are overgeneralized and are no longer serving you. Some of these statements, may seem like you don't consciously believe them. When you say, I'm not worthy, you may say, you know what? I don't believe that. But if you notice an emotional reaction in your body, okay, when you say that aloud or when you think about it, then you actually do carry that belief with you. A feeling arises, it follows by a thought. A feeling is followed by a thought, right? When you think about, I'm late to work, and then eventually you feel anxiety, you feel restlessness, because your brain starts releasing chemicals and creates those feelings. So everything is preceded by a thought. Some common beliefs are, I can't have everything, or making money requires stress and suffering. You need to work hard. I'm not worthy to have a life of my dreams. I'm too old, or it's too late to start changing. Good looking men are unfaithful or unkind. I don't deserve a loving relationship. I have to be constantly working without rest or social life to be successful. Right? So I can speak from my own personal experience that unlearning these beliefs has served me, oh my God, so well. And I was surprised to find the abundance of goodness and happiness, personal power that was around me all along. I just couldn't see it. By brainstorming and writing your beliefs out for yourself, you become, first step is aware of them, right? And then you can start working on them and changing them. So the first step is being aware of what you believe and get out of that denial mode, right? But let me tell you a bit more about how I overcame my own limiting belief to see if you can relate. When I grew up, my family was, middle class. We lived on a very modest salary until my father quit his job to pursue his purpose in life, that is teaching meditation, right? But he believed in not charging money for his teachings, and he built his entire organization on donations. In fact, he still does that. This caused my mother to struggle making ends meet, but she tried to make sure that her children were not missing out on the things that the other kids were enjoying. So as a little girl, whenever I needed something, I always picked the cheapest one, or I would just convince myself that I didn't really need anything. And even today, my mother still talks about the story with tears in her eyes about how my 5-year-old self convinced her that I did not need a new dress for my birthday, or because I already had too many dresses. So ever since then, not putting a financial burden on my mother became deeply ingrained in me. As I saw my father living his purpose and feeling fulfilled, I linked that to poverty. I linked spirituality to poverty, to as a service, not making money, not having enough. So I formed a new belief: if I'm happy at work, I will be poor. So I have to do something that I'm not happy. I have to learn something new to make money, to be successful. I want to be rich. If I want to be rich, I have to tolerate an unhappy and stressful environment. It doesn't matter if I'm not fulfilled. I told myself, as long as I'm earning a great, great salary. This meant I was working so hard, doing a job that killed me on the inside. Sitting in a cubicle, oh my goodness, sitting in a cubicle looking at the clock ticking. This was worst. This was the time at my rock bottom that really nearly pushed me out. I was surrounded with toxic people and allowing myself to be disconnected from my core because I believed I need a real job to make money because I live in this freaking real world. And doing something you love doesn't fetch money. If I love something and I do it, it doesn't really fetch money. So these were all the false limiting belief systems that I was holding on to that really limited my experience, my life. So no wonder I was limiting myself and didn't pursue my dream, right, of becoming a spiritual teacher, because deep down, I did not believe I could be successful doing that. My belief system was holding me back from living my true passion, my true purpose, my higher calling, and having a sense of joy and freedom in my life. I did manage to overcome these limiting beliefs. And now, thank goodness, I no longer have them. I installed new belief systems. I completely deleted the old ones, and I will show you precisely how in a minute. Finally, I became a spiritual coach and I'm an executive coach, and I dedicated my life to helping other women do the same. What I wanted to show you by telling you this story is that every limiting belief and challenge can be overcome, right? We have the power to create absolutely anything we want to experience. This is the first thing you need to understand is you have the power to absolutely freaking change anything, have anything, be anything. And from there we start owning our power. This is the first step. Now take a moment to ask yourself these questions. What is not going right for you right now? For me, right? What is not going right for me? Ask that question. What is it? Is it career? Is it your health? Is it your relationship? What is it? What will happen if you continue down this path? If your relationship is suffering, what will happen if you continue down doing what you're doing right now? What will happen? What's the worst possible outcome of not changing if it doesn't change? If the relationship that, if it's a relationship that's going on, what will happen if it doesn't change? I want you guys to take that piece of paper and write your answers to this down, okay? And let me give you an example about this. I already told you how I used to believe I couldn't gain financial freedom doing what I love, right? In believing that, I was living a life filled with fear, where I clung on to my job for dear life. But by doing something that brought me so deeply out of alignment, I got into depression, manifested physical blocks, and almost gave up on my dream. Almost gave up on my dream, guys. So I asked myself these questions. What will happen if I continue down this path? Okay, what's the worst possible outcome of not changing? Then I thought to myself, am I going to be a sad old woman, an 80-year-old woman on a rocking chair on a porch, feeling bitter, having lived my whole life in fear, not taking the risk to do something that I love, right? And missed out on so much. What would I look back and see? That I hated every second of my job, that I was living in fear and hanging on and feeling insecure all my life about my own financial status. Then I let my stress have a negative impact on my relationships and my health. I did not spend quality time with my family, my children. I did not attend their football classes or games because I had to work on the weekends, and I did not take vacations because I had to prove my worthiness at every step. I would have wasted my whole life. And then what? Well, then I would have probably died as a sad old woman, right? And that would be my end. That's it. A bunch of titles and projects, and that's it. And exotic vacations, and I'm done. What would your end be? Bring yourself all the way to the end of the thought. Ask yourself, and then what? And then what? I know, this sounds dark. I know this sounds dark, but if you look honestly, all the way to the end, there's always death. That might sound scary or morbid at this time, but the ego doesn't like to think about death. The ego is the one is always trying to protect you from that thought. So when we face the thought of death straight on, we tap into an inner power that's deeper than our ego. It's our core essence, and that's where we get our answers from. That's the part of us that knows what we truly, truly want and knows how to guide us so that we can finally realize the life we desire at the deepest level. The next question I want you to ask yourself is, how does that worst case scenario feel? Right? What sensation does it bring up? And where do you feel that sensation? What does your body feel like at this time when you have that thought in your mind? What are your emotions? Take a minute here to tune in. See if it feels like closing down or like a restriction in your stomach or maybe your shoulders, neck. That's an indication it would be the wrong path for you. That's not what you really want. Napoleon Hill once said, all the breaks you need in life wait within your imagination. Imagination is a workshop of your mind, capable of turning mind energy into accomplishment and wealth. Remember, we create our own reality with our thoughts. So this is the key, guys. The rule here on earth, the 3D matrix is like gravity, is that whatever a subconscious mind believes, a reality must express. Everything that you experience right now is a direct reflection of your subconscious mind. Whatever you believe is reflecting in your life, as your career, as your relationship, the health, the prosperity, everything. That means if you have limiting beliefs, we will have limited lives, right? It's all, everything that you see, your career is an energetic reflection, projection of who you are. So if you don't like anything you see in your life, you got to first stop blaming, you got to first stop complaining, and start looking inside of you. What is that file in your head that is blocking you from experiencing the life that you want? So stop chasing, stop looking outside of you. It's time to go inside and take out that freaking file and throw it away and install a new program. That's what you got to do. But don't blame yourself for these limiting beliefs you have. They're not your fault. You might have downloaded them from your parents, teachers, and from everywhere. Almost anything that surrounds you has that potential to build a new belief. Although the formation of these beliefs isn't your fault, getting rid of them is your responsibility. It's up to us to rid ourselves from our limiting beliefs and replace them with beliefs that serve us and our progress. Remember, we can have or be anything we want. As Henry Ford once said, if you think you're right or if you think you're wrong, if you think you can or if you think you can, you're right. I'm sorry. It can be really hard to let go of limiting beliefs, right? It can be really hard because it's your core belief, it's your core program. And there's a lot of resistance when we are working with this. And some of my clients say things like, I can't do that because blah, blah, blah. I have to be practical. I have to live in the real world. These are all the common examples, excuses. But these excuses have to fall away, guys. This has to fall away. I have to be real here because otherwise your underlying beliefs will forever limit your success. Everything that you dream about, everything that you want in your life cannot materialize unless you start changing, creating a new version of yourself, right? You start, once you start believing in that, it's time for you to change your own reality. I'm going to show you how today. Now that we understood, in order to change our life, we need to first delete and program and install new programming. I'm going to teach a way to reprogram. Okay, that does not take years, but just minutes. Ready? Cool. The fastest way to reprogram our subconscious mind is to just decide. Decide. Okay, decide that you no longer want to believe that you need to work hard in order to succeed. Decide that you're going to have a freaking amazing life. Decide that you're ready for transformation. Decide that you can absolutely have everything in your life. You can. Take off the cans from your life. I can't. Take it off. Those are off. Out. You can manage your work life and your social life. You can manage everything. You can say no. You can take care of yourself. And decide that you no longer have to do anything that is not in alignment with who you really are. So who you really are, that phrase we've just used, that, what does that would bring up for you? Who you really are. For a lot of my clients, it brings confusion. They might say, but I don't know who I really am. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. And we'll explore that. Others of my clients say they do know who they are, but they have to suppress it in certain areas of life, in certain relationships, just like I did in my life, leaving them feeling disconnected and exhausted. And that's a natural process when you start suppressing things. Either way, you need this next secret ingredient, right? Which is authenticity. Authenticity, hands down. What is authenticity? I've learned this really the hard way. Authenticity is your thoughts about your life, your words, actions, habits, and life choices being in alignment with your heart. In other words, when your heart and your mind work together, boom, you are aligned. You are freaking aligned. Did you know that our heart and brain are in communication constantly? Check this out. The Heart Math Institute, okay, this is an institute that studies heart and brain wave synchronization and conducted a study. Here's what they found out. Research has shown that heart communicates to the brain in 4 major ways. Neurologically, through the transmission of nerve impulses, biochemically via hormones and neurotransmitters, biophysically through pressure waves, and energetically through electromagnetic field interactions. People used to think that the brain issued commands to the whole body, including the heart, but now research has found that heart sends its own commands to the brain too. Right? How does this relate to authenticity? Well, being authentic is like having a great conversation between the brain and the heart, where they're both in harmony. When we start being authentic with coherence between the mind and heart, we gain greater discernment, leading to making better decisions in life. So we don't create wrong. We don't get into wrong relationships. We don't make wrong decisions about our career. The internal conflict melts away, and stress is replaced by peace. We don't need to pretend someone we are not to be accepted as a successful woman. I'm going to repeat that. We don't need to pretend someone we are not to be accepted as a successful woman. Sometimes we hide behind our degrees, our titles, our experience, and we leave our heart at home. But not only does this affect our emotional life, but it also affects our careers, right? Our relationships. What gets you further, both in your professional and personal life, is authenticity. Listening to both your heart and mind. This makes you more able to listen to other people, understand their perspectives, and make better judgments. It allows you to show up and say what you have to say, but without apology. That is what commands respect, right? Even more than any titles, before your name or after your name. What does it look like speaking your truth? What does it look like? finally speaking what you really believe in, what you really care about. Being fine with people not liking you. This is a big one. Being fine with people not liking you, being okay with it. Not knowing that your own approval is the approval that really, really matters. Not your husband's, not your bosses, not your co-workers, not your family, not your children. It's your own approval. Having other people's judgments of you not affect you. How does it look like? Oh my gosh, for me, it looks like freedom, the real freedom, true inner confidence that radiates, that shines around you when you truly believe in yourself, when you truly seek your own approval. And that's what a truly successful person feels like, right? Success is not what the society tells us. It is truly that confidence, believing in yourself and doing what you love and being good at it is what success is. Needing approval is like saying your view of me is more important than my own view of myself. And that's a quote from Wayne Dyer, my favorite guy, and it's so incredibly true. We all do it, right? Looking for approval outside of us. We've been programmed from generations, from our ancestors, especially as women, to believe we are not enough. We need something outside of us constantly to make us feel worthy. First, it is a husband, maybe a boyfriend, and then a career, a boss, and then the children, the money, the status, the career. Something outside of us is always needed to make us feel worthy, to make us feel deserving, to make us feel loved. This approval outside of us can make us beautiful, successful, and well-liked because we have powerful motivation of approval to keep us striving for better and better. So we seek that approval, so we make ourselves better and better. But in this position, we lack power. We are morphing and changing who we really are, just for other people to nod and say, hey, yep, I like her. She's great. What about us, though? Do we still like ourselves? When we really start dropping the need to have the approval, then we really start stepping into our own power. This is how we start. And that comes from owning who we really are, being responsible for our own energy, being proud of that and stepping into it fully. Let me show you a woman I've helped to step into her authenticity, confidence, and power. Courtney was a very ambitious woman, like most of my clients are. She got promoted into the position of partner at the firm she worked at, the only woman partner. What an achievement, right? But she wasn't happy. Whenever she was in a meeting with her other male partners, they would talk about football and politics, which she was not really into. She was scared that she may not fit into the group of the partners, may not look like a leader or be accepted into that group. So she really wanted to be accepted and respected as a partner. So she decided the way to do this was to pretend she loved football. She went and researched and Googled and started dropping info she picked up. And soon she began to fit in. And here's the thing. And it felt good in the beginning, but gradually she was getting miserable because she still didn't feel valued. It didn't really feel and respected for who she really was. So this is the thing, guys. If you are seeking that approval for things that you have changed and not really for the things that who you really are, it is not going to be sustainable. She programmed herself and changed herself to fit in, and unfortunately, dissatisfaction is always the result. We constantly program ourselves to change our personalities to match the outside world, right? This happens because of our limiting beliefs and fears of being rejected or failure. This is all. Fear is the root of all the suffering. Fear of being rejected, fear of failure. Courtney and I started working together and really digging deep into her programming to connect with her authentic self. We started deleting the files, taking off the programming, and started raising her vibration with bringing in spiritual tools. At the end, Courtney decided to leave the business and create her on her own business. She holds a CEO position by being her authentic self, and she couldn't be happier. And now her business is a projection, is a reflection of her own energy, her own belief systems. She has a better salary and than she ever did before. She's absolutely enjoying and having a great life. Is this a success story? I think so, right? Well, the next secret is breaking out of your norm. Okay, you got to do something different. Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. You know, if that's insane, that means the most of us have lost our minds, right? Well, the thing is, we're all creatures of habits and routine. That's natural, right? Imagine if we didn't have any habits. We'd have to make billions of decisions every day, compromising our brain power and ability to think of other things. But the problem is, some of our beliefs might not be serving us, and it's difficult to change them. If you're unhappy in our lives, that's a signal we need to change some of our habits. We want different results. We got to try new approaches. Take that steps, take risk, get out of your comfort zone, because the thing that you're seeking is just outside your comfort zone. So you got to get out. With my work with women all around the world, I realized that working with spiritual tools together with mindset and energy work successfully supports us in changing our patterns, shifting our energy, and creating a powerful transformations. In other words, introducing spiritual habits, tools, techniques can create a new life for you that really fulfills you and makes you happy. So first, let's look at this important quote from Nikola Tesla, my favorite quote. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. I want to show you precisely how to change your reality, right? By raising your vibration and programming your subconscious mind. In order to become a conscious leader and create your own reality, you need to first understand the concept of energy and vibration. This is quantum physics, guys. So bear with me. I'm gonna, make it simple for you. As Einstein said, everything is energy, right? And everything is frequency. Everything vibrates. Visible light, non-visible light, sound, heat, magnetism, color, electricity, matter are all different forms of the same source. It's all about vibrating at different frequencies. So it's all about tuning into that frequency to get what we want. So in order to attract the things that you want, you need to first match your own vibration with that of what you're attracting. So let's talk about 3 tools that can help you shift your energy, shift your focus, vibration, and frequency, and reprogram a subconscious mind powerfully for happiness and success. The first tool is meditation, hands down. Okay, this is the basics. We talked about how by changing our thoughts, we change the way we feel, and in turn change our lives, right? So, but just taking a deeper look into this, did you know there are about 100 billion neurons in our brain? And every time we have a thought, we fire a set of neurons, a communities of neurons, which send signals to our hormonal centers and releases chemicals, creating feelings and emotions. And this is neuroscience. And there are nerve cells that fire together. So if the nerve cells, if they are fired together, that means they get activated together, they are now linked together. And that's how every time we have a thought, all these communities get lightened up and they link together and they create an experience. They create our state of being. That's the state of being, whether that's anger or happiness or sadness or any kind of experience that you have. It's called the state of being, because your mind and your heart, your body are feeling the same thing. In order to change your reality, we need to change our state of being, right? The way we experience. So for example, if you have a thought about, as I earlier mentioned, that you're late to work or you're late to catch a flight, as you keep having the same thought again and again, again and again, at a certain point, it releases your brain starts releasing chemicals once it reaches a threshold and starts creating an experience called anxiety. So you start feeling that experience. So any experience you have is preceded by a thought. So now that means if you change your thought, you have the power to change your experience, to change your reality, right? So the good news is we don't have to actually go through a physical experience. This is where meditation comes in. Meditation is a powerful tool that allows us to tap into a subconscious state. So we have the access to our inner hardware to delete, change, and install new programs. Choosing the right technique of meditation in order to program a subconscious mind can amplify your results to create the reality you truly, truly desire. It is a proven, powerful tool that is essential to shift your focus, shift your energy. It is a way to fill up your reserve with source energy that allows you to shift your consciousness from scarcity, from lack, no money, no time, to that of abundance, and lead into expansion and love. And love is the highest vibration. Did you know research has shown that meditation reduces anxiety, depression, stress, blood pressure, and more, among other benefits? Even if you can try scheduling a 10-minute meditation into your everyday routine and create absolutely massive changes in your life. But it's all about being consistent, doing it every single day, right? The next tool that and I want to introduce is crystals. You can bring powerful change about into your life using crystals. You may think crystals are just pretty stones, and people who believe them are just are into woo-woo kind of stuff. But the truth is that there is so much science behind the technology of crystals. Crystals have been used since ancient times for meditation, channeling, healing. They have this fixed geometric patterns and vibrate at a very precise frequency, and that's why they're used in modern day technologies like laser imaging, in watches, in silicon chips. When a crystal is brought into your electromagnetic field, the frequencies get entrained using the law of entrainment, and we start to resonate with the crystal's frequency. Because of this resonance, your energy is transmuted and your perception is changed in a desirable way. For example, if you want to heal a heartache and feel unable to receive love, then we would work with rose quartz, which has a gentle yet powerful vibration that can allow to open up the doors of love into your life. This crystal then can be used in combination with affirmations. Affirmations are one of the powerful tools that we can use to program our subconscious mind. And affirmation like I receive and send love with ease. So you're constantly repeating that, aligning you with the crystal's resonance with the vibration really gives a powerful effect. So go ahead and do some research on crystals, how they work and what should be used for each situation. For example, if you want confidence, when you're going for a presentation, or maybe you want to, or leading a team, you could wear a piece of citrine or sunstone as a pendant and bring that vibration into your life. So far, I've shown you how your limiting beliefs are holding you back, how to change them, and numerous techniques for raising your vibration. But there's one more secret ingredient to your success, okay? And that is investing in mentoring. It's my belief that everyone should have a mentor. I've had many over the years. The main two benefits of having a mentor are it brings you new ideas. It brings you accountability. Here's the way I see it. You're only one idea away from a massive shift in your life for the better. If you want to make that change, it can be harder because you have limiting beliefs. You don't even believe it's possible. The first thing, you don't know what they are. You don't believe you can do it, or you deserve to be happy. You have no one to cheer you on, or you have no one to hold you accountable. A good mentor can help you overcome all these obstacles. Let's look at a tiny example. Right now, there are new ideas in your head as a result of watching this masterclass, right? That shows that in this small time I've taken to mentor you, something has shifted. Think of how much more could shift if we interacted one-on-one. If I've had great results from mentors, and now I want to offer the same to you. I want to give back. If you want to see results, you've got to get clear on what to do next. You take action, and then you take action and you get results. That's how it works. You come to the end of this training, guys. So right now you have a choice. You can either say, thank you, Pari. This has been absolutely freaking great. I've got a new ideas. I'm going to go out there and try this on my own. Or if you want to do this, do that. It's absolutely fine, totally fine. But I do have to warn you, it's likely to take a long time and you'll fail probably many times before you succeed. And that's okay, right? That's okay to fail. Failure is part of life. But some people want to take the long way around. Your other choice is this. You can say, hey, I want this, and I want this now. I know I need to make a change because the way I'm living isn't working right now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, right? I know I have the power inside me, but I need help unlocking it, unleashing it. Show me how to have success with it. Show me how to save a bunch of time and money and knock it out of the park on the first round. You're ready to start programming your subconscious mind and shifting your energy, but that sounds pretty abstract, right now. How do you actually do it? How do you create rapid change and then make it stick? What tools are you going to use to powerfully attract the experience you want? How are you going to make sure you break free from your fears and your limiting beliefs to achieve success? I am here to help. For years, I've been helping successful but stuck women like you skyrocket their confidence to attract the life of their true desires. It's not enough to do meditation or affirmations or use crystals. You need more to push through the blocks and step into your fulfillment. And what does your life look like for you? What do you really want to experience? How do you get started? How do you remove toxicity from your life? How do you create habits that lead to success? To get the tools and answers that are going to work for you, mentoring is a great choice. I always think you should hire a mentor who has lived the life you're living, so they know where you're coming from and who has broken out of the very same problems you have. I came from near burnout, in the corporate world, but now I've got a track record of manifesting my reality. I follow my dreams. I do what I love. I take exotic vacations. My bank account is healthy. And I have a wonderful family life. Most of all, I feel like myself. And I love the life I live. I'm not saying this to boast. I'm saying it because I want to inspire you and show you what's possible when you start investing in yourself and taking this seriously. So listen, guys. I want to invite you to take this seriously. Take yourself seriously. To look at your precious life and realize it's short. Realize that if you want to, if you went to your deathbed right now, today, that you'd have tons and tons of stuff that you wanted to do but didn't. Let's look at your life together. That's point A right now, where you are. And look at your dreams together. That's point B. Then let's change your vibration and beliefs, programming, so that you can get from point A to point B and with ease. Let's make it possible, right? Let's make it possible. So I have now set aside some time to speak with you in the next week on a personal one-on-one basis. I want to personally show you how you can apply these ideas that we talked about very specifically to your life starting today. Okay, so how much does this call cost? Absolutely nothing. It's 100% free. Why am I offering this? It's very simple. If we both feel it matches up and makes sense, then I may invite you to become a client. And even if you don't, it will be a great use of your time. Someone just sent me a message recently last week that those were the best 30 minutes I've ever spent. I got more clarity in that call than I've ever in the whole year. I really know where I want to go now and what to do next. So I'm looking for committed, decisive, resourceful women who are coachable, okay? If you're thinking, hey, Pari, I want this to be my life. I'm tired of pleasing others and living in fear. or I'm tired of this 9 to 5 freaking soul sucking job. That's really not my purpose. Because your higher power, your higher calling knows this is the path for you. There's a reason you signed up for this masterclass today, right? How did you find your way to to this to this link out of the thousands of other masterclasses out there? What are the odds? If you probably been praying, maybe you're probably been praying, wishing, hoping, or asking for a way out, a way to change things, or a mentor. You know the reason you're here already. So I invite you right now to book a free call with me today. Okay, and the link is below. Once you click on the link, you will be directed to a questionnaire, to an application form, so I can get more information prior to our call so we can use the best use of the call, right? So once you fill up the questionnaire, you will be directed to my calendar so you can book a slot that works for you. And then we are on, and I'm so happy that you are here. And again, you are just one decision away from a totally different life. What I want you to take away from this, whether we work together or not, is that you always have a choice, guys. You always have a choice. Things can always be different, and even do a complete 180. So as long as you make the decision and follow through, you will make it happen. It will happen. And that's all we've got time for today, guys. Thank you for listening, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you personally and finding more about you and where you're going. It's been a great pleasure being here, and thank you for spending this time with me. Bye bye, guys.